And we're at Starbucks in Airdrie getting ready to head back to Costco where I can pick up my order and then head home. So I've got my summer gloves on today because it's fairly warm. Still cool for this time of year, but we're just gonna hop on the Navi here and get it off the center stand because I was checking the oil as well, and we're all ready to go. So to start, hold the brake lever, twist the throttle a little bit, and then hit the starter button, and she starts up right away. So you might be wondering, how do you stay warm on a motorcycle? Well, today I've got my motorcycle outfit on, which has pants and a jacket, both of which are very windproof. The jacket and the pants have zippers that you can open up for ventilation when it gets hot, and the jacket has a thin liner, which is quite warm actually. I've got pockets inside, so when it's really cold out, I can take some charcoal pocket warmers, which use solid fuel sticks, basically coal is what it looks like, and so you light those sticks, you let it burn down about an inch, and it fits in a little wallet-sized container that you snap shut. It's got fiberglass insulation in it, so it allows it to burn in there without catching fire on anything. And so I've got two pockets for that inside the jacket when it's really cold, and they put out a fair bit of heat, so it definitely takes away the chill. The other thing that I normally do when it is quite cool is I have electric gloves, and they run for a good couple of hours, I would say, depending on how high I got it turned up. And usually I don't have to have it turned up very much. On a day like today, I wouldn't even have the heat on because it would get too hot. So that's how I keep my hands warm. For the feet, I get electric socks, and they have some of them have fairly large sized batteries that will run you for, up to 6 hours on low setting or something. And so I just put those on and stick on a pair of shoes, no boots, as long as it's not really cold. And yeah, today I think it's 9 degrees or something like that, so it's not super warm, but it does work. It's good for getting around as long as the roads are nice and dry. In Calgary, we're gonna get some more snow. Until we get to May the 31st, we're never quite sure if we're gonna have more snow or not, but we've had some pretty big storms. People in April, they go, oh, it's nice and warm out, we'll change your summer tires, and then they have to put it back on again because they get, usually in the spring, late spring, we start getting some really wet snow and roads can ice up pretty quick. So that's essentially what I do to stay warm in the cold weather on a motorcycle. Yeah, especially if I'm going a long distance, like if I'm going from here, say, out to Bassano, which is a 100-mile drive, then I'll definitely put on my heated socks and gloves. And when I get to where I'm going, I charge them up again as much as I can. Usually the weather's not too bad by then, by the time I go out there. So that's basically how I stay fairly warm on the motorcycle. And I bought my jacket and pants on Amazon, and I'm actually quite happy with them. They're this new kind of synthetic material. It's supposed to be better than leather, and they have foam pads built in, to protect your hip and knees and elbows and that sort of thing. So I decided when I got my CBR 125 a couple of years ago that I was going to make sure I have some good riding gear, because you see some videos and people are just out in their short sleeves, which is, they like to do that when it's really hot out. But unfortunately, you can get some serious road rash and infections from doing that. And they can come back to bite you in a big way. So I try to always be proactive and wear some good gear. The helmet I also got off of Amazon, and it's one of those modular ones that you can tilt the whole front of it up so it's out of the way, and I installed a microphone in it and a headset, which is Bluetooth, and it charges. It's supposed to run most of the day on one charge. And of course you can do things like click on a button and turn the volume up and down when you're playing music, listen to your phone. So I've got that set up, but it doesn't seem to quite work well with the phones if you want to make a phone call and stuff like that. Or it's but for listening to music it works great. And when I'm trying to record stuff with a microphone on it, turn on my video camera, and I've got two cameras that have a microphone with a foam plug around it for wind noise, cut that down, and I just take a twist tie and tie it onto the microphone inside my helmet, plug it into the camera, and I tried that, but I find at the end of it, there's only so much wind noise you're going to be able to cut out. And if I'm going fast on my CBR, 100 kilometers an hour or something, yeah, it's almost impossible to even hear the music. So that's why I do all of this audio dubbing afterwards, so that I can adjust the sound of the engine and wind noise and stuff down to a manageable level so you can hear what's going on. So yeah, in about a week's time I'm gonna be installing a battery voltmeter and cell phone charger. On the 125 I already installed one, and it actually has a temperature gauge built into it too. One of the things that I find comes in really handy on a motorcycle is to have a stick-on clock of some sort. I'm going to have to order one here for the Navi that I can just set once a year, stick it on somewhere, and be able to see the time when I'm out riding, because sometimes I want to get home at a certain time, and it's very inconvenient to have to keep stopping and taking my gloves off and unzipping my sleeve so I can actually look at my watch and see what time it is. Of course, with my latest phone there, I try to get on there and say, "Hey Google," and that doesn't always work. Oh, I actually activated my phone. And yeah, I have problems with Google actually putting the audio through to my headset. For some reason it gets all confused sometimes, and if I've got the headset turned off I can hear what Google is saying, and if I have the headset plugged in it displays stuff on the screen but I don't hear anything at all. So maybe a software bug or something. But it comes in real handy if you're getting a call when you're out on a ride, and you can just click a button and answer that call. That comes in real handy, so you don't have to keep stopping all the time. But today we're heading back over to the 30-kilometer-an-hour roads to head back, because it's a nice slow route for the Navi. I've found a lot of roads. Actually, I was kind of surprised, there are quite a few routes around Calgary where you don't have to go faster than 70 kilometers an hour. And so now that I got the Navi, and I don't like running it right up to the maximum, 80 kilometers an hour. Especially, I'm still breaking it in. I haven't got to 1,000 kilometers yet. And so I'm just babying it and taking it easy on there. Going at 30 kilometers an hour, 40, 50, 60, up and down, so that the engine gets worn in easily. And it's at time it's not really good to run at full bore for any length of time, because all the parts are tight, and that just creates more friction and more wear, and you want it to wear in nice and evenly with changing the engine RPM up and down, so that it doesn't get too much full power operation, and it kind of has a time to cool down in between and wear in more evenly. So I'm still doing it. I got a few hundred more kilometers, and yeah, once I got up to about 700-800 kilometers, I started running it at full power for short periods of time. And I'm actually surprised that it actually will get up to over 80 kilometers an hour. I've had it up to maybe about 82 or 83 kilometers an hour, and that's pretty much maxed out. It might go a little faster than that, but when you consider it's got quite a wide speed range, for a motorcycle that's only around $2,000 that I paid for it. So I don't see how you're going to get anything that's even close to that. I was kind of looking at, what is it, Honda had a 150 adventure style kind of bike, and even that was around $6,000. 3 times the cost of the Navi, which does pretty darn good for the price. And if you ever listen to the Honda Navi, it kind of reminds me of that George Jetson's flying car. It sounds almost exactly like that. And so you got a space age sound on a little scooter. Well, people call it a scooter. I still think it's more of a motorcycle than a scooter. It's designed to be more of a motorcycle. With a scooter, you get the floorboards, and you get really big storage box. This one's a smaller size storage box, but you can actually put quite a bit of stuff in there. So right now I just store a backpack in there, and I need to get myself a tire repair kit. The kind that you can just fix these tubeless tires when you get a flat. And this is the thing that I think is really convenient, to have tubeless tires on a motorcycle, because you don't have to remove anything. I mean, if you start taking a bike apart on the side of the road and you lose a part, you're pretty much hooped, right? And it's usually a long, intensive thing to take a motorcycle apart on the side of the road to fix a flat. I mean, bicycles, I've learned a few tricks on it. Last time I was out on my mountain bike, light duty mountain bike, and I got a flat, and so I just put it on the stand, and those quick releases on the rear wheel, so I just loosened that off, pulled the tire off the side while the wheel was still mounted inside the bike in the frame, and then I would just lift up the bike a little bit till I could get a gap between the axle and the frame, and just pull the tire and the tube out, and replace the tube, stick it back through the same way, set it back down on the axles, and I didn't even have to mess with the chain, because that can get to be a real problem. It can take a lot of time to mess around with getting the chain off, and then you have to get your hands greasy to put it back on. So I completely avoided that just by pulling the tire off the rim and lifting it up enough to pull the tire out between the axle and the frame, and it worked great. So we're right back at Costco here, and we're gonna go pull in, and we're in back inside and pick up the rest of my order. So as you can see, the Navi is quite capable for getting around on back roads and in the city where the speed limit is at the maximum of 80 kilometers an hour, which is pretty much everywhere. And another feature of the Navi is it has tubeless tires. So I need to get a tubeless tire kit for this and a pump, because when you get a flat, you don't have to take the whole bike apart. You just need to use your tool to remount the hole, stick a little rubber string in there, and pump it back up. And that's another good selling feature. It makes it quick to fix leaks in your tires. And it's also an AC system, so when you kickstart it, even if the battery's dead, you'll get it to fire up. And that is another saving grace. My CBR 125, I don't have that option. It doesn't have a Kickstarter. When the battery goes dead, you're out of luck, unless you can find a hill to roll the bike down and roll start it. The features of the Navi really come in handy for a lot of these trips. You got storage space, it's very nice to ride, very lightweight, and excellent gas mileage. See you later.